Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shining sea. Welcome back to the Shack. It's Ham Radio Live. Thank you so much for subscribing. It helps people find the channel on YouTube that have an interest in ham radio. Think of it as your daily ham radio fix, helps you with forecasting, as well as pretty cool ham stuff people do it around the world, as well as shortwave. We don't forget you guys in shortwave, I promise. I'll never forget my shortwave friends. Happy May 28th. It is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. Welcome to Shack, everybody. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. I'd like to thank Ray Novak from ICOM for coming on the show yesterday. It's truly a blessing and honor to have you here yesterday, Ray. Thank you so much. For folks around the world that would like to get into amateur radio, there are many ways. Now, one of them is to contact this group right here. This is the American Radio Relay League. You can find them at www.arrl.org. They're great people. They'll help you. Just tell them in the comment section, in the content section, down low when you want to contact them. Hit the contact bar, tell them where you are, let them know you want to find a radio club near you, and they'll help set you up. Same thing with the folks over in Japan. They're called the Japan Amateur Radio League. Find them at www.jarl.org. In Great Britain, our friends in the UK have a great ham radio club, and they're very active as well. Very, very good club. Find the Radio Society of Great Britain at www.rsgb.org. And our folks in Australia, our great mates down under, contact the Wireless Institute of Australia at www.wia.org. If you'd like to email the show, have a show idea, want to comment about it, any ideas, like to see a product, whatever it might be, please feel free to hit me up on email at cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's great to see you from already around the world. My goodness. First of all, Sean from the UK, dear friend. Sean, thank you so much for coming to today's show. It's always so nice to see you. It's been a while, man, and I really do appreciate seeing you. His call sign, Mike 0, Bravo Juliet Lima. Sean's one of the best DX people in the entire world, 342 countries to be exact. Tom is here from Bahrain. Welcome, Tom. Alpha Echo 1, Tom Papa. In Bahrain, his call sign, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey. We have Whiskey 6, Juliet India Mike. Hey, Jim, I hope you enjoyed the little segment we did on you yesterday. Quite a CW operator, man. I'm really proud of you, man. It's great to see you. As well as another mate from the VK. Here's Paul. Victor Kilo 4, Delta Papa Charlie. Wow, Paul, what an honor it is to meet you, mate, all the way from VK land. That, to me, is a big deal. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. All right. Got a little bit of news for you today. First of all, Friedrichshafen is not really open, but it is open. It's a virtual ham radio fair this year for people in Europe, or if you're around the world, you can catch some great speakers from all the major manufacturers. They'll be there. Find them on the weekend of Field Day here in the U.S., June 25th through June 27th. And you can find more information on this on the DARC website. That's the German Ham Radio Club there in Germany, and they'll have all the information regarding Friedrichshafen this year. In the U.S., get ready for Field Day. Yep, it's happening a month from now, literally 1 month from today. Field Day is when you're starting to set, prep, get ready to go. Yep, because on Saturday, we let it rip. That's how it works. June 26th and June 27th, American Radio Relay League Field Day, a chance for you to get your ham radio out on the road, in the park, in the fields, wherever it may be that you can show off ham radio to the public. It's a great opportunity to expand ham radio. Forecast today, let me show you. Earlier, look at this SFI, 94. This is no joke. At 1533 UTC, a 94 SFI. But before you get a little bit too excited, now it's 77. See that? Just 4 hours later, it literally dropped 17 points. Now, let's take a look at the difference between these two. First of all, the A index and K index, take a look at both of those and now confirm them to now, okay? Now the A index is 16, K is 0. That is excellent for DX tonight. I think tonight may be one of the best DX nights you'll have in a very, very long time, especially on 20 meters. It says here fair conditions. I believe it's going to be better than fair. The only thing that's going to stop it would be a solar flare, to be honest with you. Maximum usable frequencies around the world right now range from a very high 25.58 in Knive Island all the way down to 7.84 in South Africa. But take a look on the daylight side. You've got 18.27 at Boulder, Colorado, 16.81 in Alaska, and look at that, Darwin, Australia, still at 7.86. It's fall down there, and that's normal for this time of year, but it's a good night to turn on 20 meters. Take a look at these noise floor readings from around the world. Literally, Russia S3 on 40, S3 on 20. Those are both significantly down from yesterday. In China, in Shenzhen, it is 40 meters S5, 20 meters S4. Australia is 40 meters S4 noise floor, 20 meters S2. In New Zealand, about the same. 40 meters S3, 20 is an S3. You get to North America. In Canada, we've got S4s on 20 and 40 meters, S2 on 40 in the U.S., S2 on 20 meters. South America and Brazil, 40 meters S2, 20, really quiet, S1. And in Argentina, 40 meters S3, 20s and S3 as well. And in the ocean, beautiful world of Hawaii, where we all, I'm sure, would love to retire someday, it's loud there. Really is. 40 meters, S4, as well as 20 meters. Ham radio and shortwave forecast for today. Ham daytime bands, I'm only leaving 3, 20, 17, 15. Possible openings on 15 today. It's not that things are bad, it's that the SFI has significantly dropped. If it stayed at 94, you'd probably see 10 and 12 there, but because we've had a significant drop in 3 hours, I'm going to say 20 through 15 should be open. Nighttime frequencies, 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, and 30. Keep in mind, static crashes in North America, in Europe, places in the northern hemisphere where there's, lots of thunderstorms. You'll have lots of static crash activity, so please keep that in mind. Plus tonight, I believe a 90% chance of working 20 meters, and I mean all night long working 20 meters. It's that good tonight. Shortwave bands daytime 31, 25, 19, and 16 meters. Shortwave nighttime frequency should be 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, and 25. Your best bands for broadcast on shortwave tonight should be 75, 49, and the 25-meter band. I'd like to welcome you to today's show. Thank you for coming. It's an honor and privilege for me to host the show today. Kind of a quick one. Not going to be a ton of information for you other than the forecast, but I hope some helpful stuff for you. For example, I'd like to show you a ham shack, a very brilliant one. Look at this. This is a really cool, hold on, let me get to that ham shack. I pushed the wrong doggone button. There it is. This is Whiskey 5 November Kilo Yankees ham shack. Now, we've all got those places, well, not all of us, but some of us do, under staircases, right? You've got kind of like that closet that really doesn't do anything. Look at this. This is great. This belongs to Dylan in Carrollton, Texas. Yeah, he's got his oscilloscope there. He's got, count them, 4 rigs sitting there, and a screen as well. Dylan, that is such a great use of space. That's one of the coolest ham shacks I've ever seen for a small area. That's brilliant. It really is. What Dylan said was the hardest part of doing it was wiring, getting everything down, in the floor trusses to get it out and to antennas. Brilliant work. Yesterday, Ray Novak mentioned a very special ham who is brilliant at CW. Brilliant. His call sign, November 6, Michael Juliet. Let's take a look at just 1 minute and 20 seconds of what he can do. Check this out. Now he's working 2 Elecraft K3s. Look at that. I can't be sure if they're K3Ss. Sorry. They look the same. But anyway, he's working back-to-back K3s. One's on 20, one's on 40, and he's just continually answering both sides. Wow. The gentleman's name is Dan Craig. Daniel Craig. He's out of Fullerton, California. His call sign, November 6, Mike Juliet. That's some of the best work I've ever seen, literally, on CW. He's during a contest. He's literally going back and forth between different bands. Daniel, you're a great ham radio operator and fantastic at CW. Thanks for sharing that. Seriously, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we got some test questions. You know what we do on Fridays? It's an extra, and then we call, because of the UK, advanced. It's an extra advanced Friday. Now, this is not to get you guys all nervous like, oh, no, it's going to be too hard. You can do it. Yes, you can. We're going to play 20 questions today with the test questions, both in the United States and the United Kingdom. This is the top level license. Yeah, the one that gets you all the frequencies. And I think you'll find you'll be able to do it. That's for sure. If you study hard, and if you're already, say, a general or intermediate, you're so close already to getting the rest of it done. You really are. We'll go through 20 questions, 10 US, 10 UK, and it's there to help you. I'm not here to subsidize your study, right? I'm not here to, make you a brilliant expert for sure, but hopefully maybe some help for you when you take the study test and hopefully license up. Grateful to say, currently we've got, 18 now? 18 people from the channel have been able to get their license. That's pretty cool stuff. So let's get you going here first with the UK. This is on the UK Advanced Class Test, and I hope this helps you today. I sincerely do. Happy Friday, by the way. Here in the United States, this would be Friday, the Memorial Day weekend. This is when everybody usually gets out of town and just goes someplace just to go, and that's what they do. Pretty special weekend here in the U.S. First question. An amateur radio station may be used in times of emergency for sending messages. It's kind of a blank question. Does it go too far here? So you have to finish the sentence, all right? The answer is on behalf of user services, okay? That may sound strange, but user services is a group, and if they have services that need to be done, you can use your station in times of emergency for sending, station messages. That's what it is. User services. If you remember that, you'll have it. See, this isn't that hard. You have to study, no question, but you can definitely do it. Next question. You wish to experiment listening to PSK 31 transmissions on the 20-meter band, but don't have a copy of the band plan handy. Where would you expect to find PSK 31 transmissions? The answers that are given here for you include anywhere in the band, in the higher portion of the band, in the mid portion of the band, or in the lower portion of the band. The answer is the lower portion of the band. Remember, if you're working PSK 31, Olivia, Hellschreiber, could be FT8, usually right about the lower part of the band. Let's say, for example, we're going to be on 40 meters, right? Going to be between about 7.070 and 7.099 in the US. That's what it is. In the UK, it's going to be in the lower portion of the band. Please check your band plan there in the UK for that information, and you'll have it set, okay? Because everybody has their own band plans between regions 1, 2, and 3 for the International Telecommunications Union. All right, next question. MM1, so Mike 1, Alpha Bravo Charlie, decides to sail to Douglas on the Isle of Man. Hope it's nice weather. During the sailing, which call sign should he use? The answer is MM1 ABC slant or slash, okay? Mike. And the reason for that is it means maritime mobile. You see, the other ones, they don't include the full call sign. And they don't include the full call sign, or they don't have the second M. So remember, if you're going to be in the water, you're going to be sailing maritime mobile. Double M, and you'll be fine. Next question on the United Kingdom Advanced License class today. And thank you very much for joining us. Question, how often must you update your license details with Ofcom? The answer is at least every 5 years. Make sure that you keep your information current with Ofcom. Also, if you move, please contact them right away. In fact, before you change your utilities and make sure you've got electricity or whatever, make sure you notify them of your brand new address. That will help you tremendously, all right? All right, next question. And Sean, we'll see you later. Thank you for being here. You're a good man, my friend. Thank you, and good night to you. Okay, next question. A 13.8 volt transmitter is being powered from a battery pack. On transmissions, notice that the battery voltage drops several volts below its nominal voltage. This is caused by, and the answer is, the internal resistance of the battery. Now, I can tell you on my Bioenno battery, when I've used it with, portable with either the 7300 or the FTDX10, it drops significantly. You can see it right there on the meter, and then once you stop transmitting, it starts to trickle back up again. It's all because of the internal resistance of the battery. Remember that, and you should be fine. Next question. This is on the United Kingdom top license class. So you can pass this. You can. You really can. Next question. A full licensee is permitted to, and the answer is given here, which is kind of interesting. Take a look at some of these answers. First one, okay, I love this first one. I got to be honest. Authorize a trainee to use their equipment unsupervised. If you want a train wreck, do that. You don't want to do that, okay? Don't do that. Next, use the call sign belonging to the owner of the equipment they're using. You can't do that. You just can't. You can't use someone else's call sign. You can only use your call sign, okay? Next, use 1,500 watts of output power provided they are taking part in a contest. Remember, in the UK, you only get 400 watts. That's maximum output power. You cannot ever use 1,500 watts, okay? If you're in the UK. All right, next is the right answer. Allow the operation of the station by a foreign non-UK licensed amateur. That is the correct answer if you get that one right. Remember, 400 watts is the top transmission power in the UK. Don't ever fall for something that's higher than that. Next question. An amateur station log should be kept if requested by the UK licensing authority. The log should be made available for inspection at any reasonable time by a person acting under the authority of Ofcom. Yeah, it's just, that's the licensing authority. So if somebody gets a hold of you and says, we want to see your station log, not likely to happen, but it could, make sure it's Ofcom. That's the people that will do it. And as long as you have it available, just hand it to them. Give them a copy of it. Okay, that's good. Next question. The recordings which a radio amateur may not transmit include, and this could be really interesting if you did this, messages which are grossly indecent or menacing or illegal character and or are wow, a lot of adverbs there, of pecuniary interest. Okay, so in essence, you can't retransmit something that's that's cruel, crude, menacing, like you're stalking somebody, you're throwing QRM on somebody because you don't like them, or you're threatening them, or you're just, trying to sell things all the time. You just can't do that, okay? That's illegal in most countries, okay? So just keep that in mind. Messages which are grossly indecent or menacing or illegal character and or are of pecuniary interest. Pecuniary interest, by the way, means financial, that you don't have something financial involved. Like, you're not making money on it, that's all. These are getting big, aren't they? My goodness, sorry about that. Next question, the Q code to ask, quote, who is calling me, unquote, is QRZ. Yeah. So when you go on to QRZ.com, that's what it means. Really, it does. Who's calling me? It's a great way for you to remember that. Who is calling me? QRZ is a great directory to find out who's who in ham radio. Who's calling me? That's why you use their call sign search. Great way to remember that for that Q code. Okay. Final question today on the UK advanced class, top class license in the US. Sorry, UK. Question reads, the call sign Golf India 0 XXX belongs to an amateur in, and the answer is Northern Ireland. The second part of the prefix is I as in India. Okay. That classifies them as in Ireland. All right. In Great Britain, the second character is what identifies what part of the UK you're in. So if it's an I, it's Ireland. Pretty easy to remember. So we made it halfway through the test. So that's 10 questions from the UK. Let's move you into the US. This is the US Extra, the amateur extra exam here in our country. And this gives you quite a bit. Now, for people that, say they scoff at their generals, it's not a big deal. It really is, because the frequencies you're missing is where most of the DX is. DX, long distance calls. This is where you want those frequencies, and they're cut out for that reason. Most DX are on the frequencies that you get with the amateur extra. So let's start out with the question, the first one from the US. It reads as follows. Trying to get a little shorter. Sorry, friends. What is an electromagnetic wave? See, this is, you guys can pass this. You can pass this. The answer is a wave consisting of an electric field and a magnetic field oscillating at right angles to each other. All right? Think about, a normal sine wave, goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Now think about if that sine wave that goes up and down was turned flat. Okay, so it's still going up and down, right? But then there's another wave that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. That'd be the magnetic part of it. Electromagnetic waves. And this is why magnetic loop antennas work. Mag loops work on the magnetic portion of your electromagnetic wave. That's why they're so immune to static crashes and things like that. That's why it helps, okay? Next question. On the US, this is the amateur extra license. By the way, AR Guns, 1776, thank you. Welcome to the show. That's very kind, my friend. Thank you. I don't usually do this, but thank you during the test. Thank you. That's very kind. I appreciate that. This is for folks who are trying to license up to the top license class in the US, and I do hope it helps you guys, okay? Next question. Which type of modulation is common for data emissions below 30 megahertz? It's frequency shift keying, okay? FSK is the kind of modulation for data emissions below 10 meters. Good way to remember that. FSK, below 10. Okay? You'll have it good. So remember, 30 megahertz is the end of the 10-meter band here in the U.S. Okay. Next question. This is on the U.S. Amateur Extra exam. Why should effective radiated power to a satellite which uses a linear transponder be limited? The linear transponder part, really throw it out. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter at all. The answer really has to do with why should you limit the amount of power you send up to a satellite when trying to make a call with someone else? The reason why you want to limit your call is because it avoids reducing the downlink power to the other users. So people that, the other people trying to work that satellite, it limits their downlink power to be able to transfer their messages too. That's why you don't want to do it. Next question. So that's just why. And again, remember, they're on VHF, UHF frequencies, but you're limiting their downlink power. Next question. Which of the following geographic descriptions approximately describes what's known as line A? All right. Line A is a line that roughly parallels south of the U.S.-Canadian border. Okay. And this covers frequencies that are on the VHF, UHF band. This doesn't cover HF. So if you're above line A, which say, for example, you're north of Aberdeen, Washington, which is part of line A up north. So Aberdeen north to Seattle, right? All right. You can still do all the HF frequencies. It's just this has to do with the VHF and UHF frequencies. Those are the ones you've got to be careful of. Because if you you transmit on those, you could cause some serious issues. Folks in Canada also have to follow those same exact rules. It's true. So you have to be very, very careful when you're doing that. Make sure you understand about line A. Canada, by the way, it's called line C. Yep. It's called line C in Canada. It's just basically the same distance north from the U.S. border. Next question. What is a telecommand station in the amateur satellite service? Now, think of the word telecommand. Okay? You're commanding something, right? Basically what it is, it's an amateur station that transmits communications to initiate, modify, or terminate functions of a space station. It's basically the remote control of a space station. That's telecommand, according to amateur radio in the U.S. So keep that in mind. Telecommand has to do with controlling a satellite. You can turn it off, turn it on. You can do a lot of things. But the point is, you have to have control over it. That's telecommand. Next question. What is the maximum permissible duration of a remotely controlled station's transmissions if its control link malfunctions? Okay, let me put this in layman's terms. If you have something like a Maestro by FlexRadio, or you have, let's say, ICOM's RSB1 software on your iPad or your phone, whatever, if you've got a problem with it where it's transmitting and you can't shut it off, how much time do you have to fix it? The answer is 3 minutes. You only have 3 minutes to be able to reset or turn off that control link. Please make sure you understand that. That's really important. You don't want a sticky transmitter and it doesn't recognize the command to shut off. You never want to be in that situation. Next question. Which amateur stations may be operated under racist rules? The answer is any FCC licensed amateur station certified by the responsible civil organization for it served. Sorry, my computer is actually right now, removing some data so you can hear me quicker and I'm not going to be slowed down. Let me repeat the answer. It's any FCC licensed amateur station certified by the responsible civil defense organization for the area served. That's what an amateur station under racist rules really means. Keep in mind, it's not an FCC licensed amateur station that goes for everybody except a technician class. And it isn't about only being for amateur extras. It isn't. And it also has nothing to do with the military radio system. It has nothing to do with Mars. Not a thing, okay? Next question. We're almost done with the U.S. And then I got a little segment for you. I hope you enjoy, okay? Let's get this off. By the way, a very happy Friday to you, wherever you are in the world today. Next question. 3 weeks of my life waiting for this computer to come. Next question. With your transceiver displaying a carrier frequency of phone signals, okay, so keep in mind phone signals, you hear a DX station calling CQ at 3.601 megs lower sideband. Is it legal to return the call using lower sideband on the same frequency? The answer is no, okay? Okay, the reason why the answer is no is because the sideband is going to extend beyond the edge of the phone band segment. Phone bands start 3.6. That's where it starts. If you're on lower sideband, your signal is going to go all the way down to 3.998. Okay, that's in the digital portion of the 80 meter band. Man, so you can't transmit on that frequency. Keep in mind, lower sideband, they figure it as 3 kilohertz, okay? Some radios can go higher than 3 or lower than 3, but when the FCC is giving you this test, they always figure it 3. All right, next question. Last one for the U.S. What is one of the potential hazards of using microwaves in the amateur radio bands? Okay, these are very, very high frequencies. The answer is the high-gain antennas commonly used can result in high exposure levels. That's it. That's all it is. High-gain antennas commonly can result in high exposure levels, which you don't want because the whole purpose of RF radiation and, checking our shack to make sure it's safe for our neighbors is to make sure that we're not hurting them, okay? When you're using microwave, as you go up in frequency, the risk to your neighbors increases tremendously. That's the reason why, right? Thanks for watching 20 questions with me today. Hope it helps you on your test. We'll show you a great DX guy. We talked about him yesterday. He's out of Germany. His call sign's Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor. Name is Gunter. He works all seasons, literally in a park with this tall vertical antenna, and he works the world with them. Let me show you a little bit of his work. This is really ham radio, taking your rig out when this is all you can do to make calls. I'm proud of you, Gunter. Here's some of his work.
Made a magnetic loop very well constructed, so I'm quite happy with buying this loop instead of making it because I tend to make things and they only work, but they only work once, Gunter. How's that to you, over?
QSL, Steve, QSL. I just pulled out my Android tablet and I hit the camera button and I did a 1 minute live recording for my YouTube channel later on, so you can see your own report, and you won't believe it. If the signal is down to 0, you still have a beautiful Radio 4 over here. So you know what you do, and you know how to make RF radiate, and this is what we are for, Steve. Thank you very much for answering my call. Have a happy Sunday, you and your family. And I would love to work you on 20 meters, maybe tomorrow, maybe later on, whenever when we ever got the chance to do that. Mike 0, Yankee Charlie Quebec, portable. This is Delta Kilo number 5, Ocean Nancy Victoria portable from the shores of the Rhine River. Back to you, Steve.
Okay, fantastic. So we'll look you up on YouTube. To work you there. Like I say, great conditions on 17 today. DK5OMV portable, Mike 0, Charlie Quebec, portable QRP. 73, good luck.
Thank you very much, Steve. I will load up the video later on when I'm back at home in the late evening hours, and you can find my YouTube channel just typing in my call sign into the search bar of YouTube. There's already a couple videos from my base station activities as well as my portable activities. Might be interesting to you to watch it. 73s, and thank you very much for coming back to my call. 73s and 44s. DK5ONV is waving a hand. 73s.
That is Gunter, DK5ONV, out in the field working hard and making calls. Proud of you, Gunter. Keep up the good work there in Germany. It's great what you do there. Very good stuff. I want to say a big hello to Wendy. Wendy, welcome back to the channel. Her call signs, Whiskey 4, Lima Sierra. Wendy, it's always a pleasure to see you. Happy Friday to you as well. Made a call while I was on my 2-week break. Had a chance to work with Rod Clare, who's out of South Salem, Oregon. Rod's a dear friend. And he's trying to set up a YouTube channel for me and everything. Not YouTube, sorry, a website. And I'm like, geez, I don't know this. I just do this for fun. So in all honesty, Rod, you're very kind for what you're doing. And he's a great woodworker as well. We finally had a chance to make a call together. And just like when I made the call with Fred in Delaware on the show, I wanted to show you a little bit of my chance to work with Rod. Now, his old call sign is Kilo Juliet 7 Romeo Kilo Bravo. He's now Whiskey 7 Lima Alpha Papa. Here it is before he changed his call sign, made a nice 2-meter call to him. KJ7RKB, K7HN. Hello from Independence, Rod. Hey, buddy, I'm going to put a little bit of this on the channel. It's our first QSO. How you doing over there today?
Doing really good. Going to make a little trip up to the Seattle area over the weekend. Pick up my daughter and her husband and our 2 grandkids. But looking forward to getting out of town a little bit and getting rid of my old tabletop to my son. So doing good here in South Salem, KJ7RKB.
KJ7RKB, K7HN. Sounds good, man. I'm glad it was you lifting that table saw, not me, brother. That's no go. That's good, though. That's good. And getting the grandkids, too. How long will you have them?
Well, they're headed to Japan. And maybe in the fall. It might even be early next year. And I don't really know how long they're going to stay with us. I mean, they stayed with us quite a bit over the last couple of years. And they're actually worried about Grandma. So they may stay for a couple of weeks and then go somewhere else for a couple of weeks and come back. But at least through the summer, maybe into the fall. Japan is really in trouble right now with COVID. So they don't have a visa to go to their next stop yet. And no telling when they're going to be able to get it. But quite a while. So we're going to get to spend a lot of time with them. KJ7RKB.
That's right, KJ7RKB at the time. Now his new call sign is Whiskey 7 Lima Alpha Papa. Rod, thank you for all the kind emails, and thank you for that QSO. It's always a pleasure on the show to be able to show a QSO with someone from the show, and that was great to do with you, Rod. I want to show you just for a quick moment. We're going to show you a little bit of a different radio. Now, many of you know I've used quite a few radios on this show, from a Kenwood TS2000 to Yaesu FTDX 101 Mike Papa, And you've never seen this one. This is a really special transceiver. This is the Flex 6500. Now, that's what it looks like in the front, but when you actually operate the rig, it's actually quite cool. This is what it looks like as you operate the transceiver. You actually put everything together on the screen, and it just does a fantastic job. It has tremendous power in terms of its ability to change and modify a signal. And I mean, when I say change and modify, if you want to move it to fit the exact bandwidth of the signal coming in, you can do that. Like, for example, let's go over here. We got a QSO. All we do is we basically go and we get the volume turned up, and we'll take a listen on it. Now, I also, by the way, I also do have another part of this hooked up, which is kind of fun. It's not only this radio here, but it also, I have the Maestro hooked up. So I'm using it here, as you see, on 20 meters. I have full control. If I want to change something, for example, let's say I don't want to be on 14,300, 20, I'm going to move to, I don't know, let's go to 71, 75, go to 40 meters, okay? All I got to do is I simply go to where the VFO knob is, 7.175, push that in, enter, and now you're on 40 meters. It automatically tracks you, puts you on lower sideband, and away you go. It's that simple. This is a fantastic device. I have really enjoyed using this just because of how smart it is. I mean, literally, wherever you want to go, just tracks you right there, and literally away you go. It's very, very smart, very intelligent, does quite a good job. Let's see if we can take a quick little listen maybe on this one and hear what the QSO sounds like. See, that's just how easy it is to use. Say you want to bump frequencies, you can do it this way, or you can just click on the frequency here, and it's going to automatically pull up a screen that allows you to do that. If I want to move frequencies, I can there. I like to use it here because simply it just makes it simple. So if I want to go 18 point, let's say 135, check out 17 meters. There it is, 17 in all its glory. The Flex Maestro has been something that has been my favorite part of the whole Flex experience. It really has. This little device, I think, is the most brilliant thing I've ever used in amateur radio. It really is. You know, forget the fact that it is, I don't know, I guess, what can you say about it? It has so much power and so much flexibility that you can do. You can basically use it similar to a tablet, all right? You can move the frequency around with just one hand, basically, and move it the direction you want to go. It's going to refill in the area you've missed. If you want to find a frequency, just tap on it. There it is. It's automatically right there. And, you know, if you want to use the VFO, you certainly can. You just use the VFO, turn it up. What I love about this product, to be quite honest with you, is I love the flexibility of it. And there's no pun intended. I don't mean that whatsoever. What I love about this system, and, you know, you can get the 6400M, which has the knobs and buttons. It's basically a Maestro in the front of the radio. You could get the 6600M, get some more antennas, and get quite a bit more IO out of it, and have that. Or you can get the 6700 fully loaded up, beautiful transceiver. You could have it on your shack right there on the computer, or you can take the Maestro with you anywhere you want. If you want to take it maybe, down to, like I do, down from, my shack here, down to my lower level, sit in my recliner and use it. My first call using this literally was to Bulgaria. That was my first call on 20 meters using this radio at night. It is so easy to use. Literally, it's just by hand. Everything is just by hand. Full touch screen. Want to change frequencies? There's your frequency change. Let's see what's going on. If there's anybody on 10, I doubt it, but there it is. And you just all of a sudden you go back to 10 meters, and here it is up top. Meanwhile, down below, here's 17 meters still. Sorry, right there. There's 17. So if I want to change the lower one, say for example, I want to monitor 6. And 6 looks like a neon sign here, so bear with me. There's a lot of interference, as you can tell. But if you've got a quiet QTH, right, you can use them like this, and you can monitor 6 meters, look for openings, while maybe being over here on VFO number 1 at the top, and all of a sudden you can be monitoring things on 20. Just have a nice rag chew with somebody on 20 meters and have just a really good time. The knobs are probably one of the things that blew me away the most, how well weighted they are. They're very well weighted. The other thing that really impressed me is the size. Look at how wide this thing is. It's that thick. Now, when I say that thick, here it is compared to my phone. Here's my iPhone, all right? Look at that. That's how thick it is compared to my iPhone. It is absolutely brilliant. Of all the things I've had in ham radio, this has been the neatest thing I've ever had, because I can literally have ham radio anywhere I want. It'll work on battery power, depending upon how much you transmit. Like any battery-powered transceiver, it will work quite a long time on battery power. Easy to recharge the battery. They're very similar to the big battery packs you buy like at your local Best Buy or Amazon store. And they're just simple to install. You keep them plugged in for a few hours, slick them in the back of the Maestro, and away you go. It's just a brilliant thing. Take it on vacation, as long as your Flex Radio is hooked up to your internet router, your Wi-Fi, you're good. You just work it anywhere you want to. And the thing only weighs maybe 5 pounds. It's just a brilliant product. This is the Flex Radio 6500 and the Flex Radio Maestro. I think of all the things I've ever had in ham radio, and I mean everything, from the Heil Parametric to the FTDX 101 MP and Deltas, the 5000 Yaesu. This is my favorite thing right there. That thing is absolutely beautiful. And, even on 4K, which that is, it just doesn't do it justice. It just doesn't. Flex Radio Maestro. Still sold out until the fall. That's how back ordered they are right now. These are sold out. If you check Flex Radio's website, they're sold out through the fall. It is just the nicest doggone thing I have ever used. I also have with this the Flex controller, which is, it makes it easy. You now, instead of just having it on your computer, you now have knobs and buttons, control your VFO. And this radio also came special. It was kind of cool. Came with a homemade 2-meter transfer. Yeah, made by a call KF2 TV. Yep. Just a homebrew 2-meter transfer, hooks right up to the back of the Flex, and you're working 2 meters. Pretty cool. And it works with the Maestro too. You can work all the way up on 2. Neat product. I want to give Flex some real kudos on a very special product that, you know me well enough to tell you if I don't like something. I love that thing. That's pretty cool. Catch up with everybody's comments before we go. Tom in Bahrain, nice to see the 99A working the 2-meter band. Yeah, that's a neat transceiver. I like it very much. Tom, also the Maestro looks elegant. Thank you. It is truly the very best thing I've had in my shack, because I don't use it in my shack. I use it where I'm comfortable. That's what makes it special. Hi, Don. Don Bush is here. Hey, brother. Hope you're feeling better. Antennas. Be well and God bless. Thank you. You too, Don. Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Papa Uniform. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate you, man, very much. Robert Bloodworth, my goodness, you have made my day. I always say, if you tell somebody, a random stranger, something nice, give them a compliment, how much it means. It meant that to me today. Thank you. That means the world. You have made my day as well, Robert. Thank you for that kind word saying I really enjoy the channel. Thanks, Robert. Thank you. Call sign is Kilo Delta 5 Oscar November Lima. Robert, you just made my day as well. Thank you so much. Donald Bush says, Larry, that's going to be my next rig because of its options and so user-friendly. Plus, it can run QRP. That's Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Papa Uniform. It can. Yeah, it does QRP really well. Let me show you real quick about QRP. One thing I noticed about the Yaesu, for example, the 101 DNMP, QRP was like 5 watts. That's as low as it went. All right. If I want to go QRP on a Flex, if you take a look at the top, right here where it says RF power, see if I can get you a little bit closer to that so you can see it better, okay? See right there in the red where it says RF power 100, all right? All I have to do is bring it down with this knob right here. I just turn this knob, and the RF power output goes down by itself. Pretty simple. No menu to go through. You just simply use it. But look, it goes down to 0, all the way to 0 watts. So if you really wanted to run true QRP and see what you could do, okay, 1, 2, 3 watts, you can see what you could do with that. It's really been a fun little project and something I really, really love. I've always said that the 5000 was a radio I don't ever want to get rid of. That is what makes this so special that I don't ever want to get rid of it either. I don't. There's times you have to do that, unfortunately. That's the way it's going to be. Anyway, Gary, of course, you're in the live stream right now. Thank you for being here. It's nice to meet you, Gary. Gary Hansen, thank you for coming today. Folks, we're going to close the show right now. We're done for today. I thank you for coming. I'm not sure there'll be a show tomorrow. The hard part for me is I'd like to do CQ calling show again. But I need to have a transceiver that's got a good video out because I use a video out capture card. That's how you see live video from the rig. And I need to get that taken care of, all right? I'm working on it. I'll get there. We also have a new computer coming, so we don't have the problems we had earlier. We're doing our best to try and get you a good show. In the meantime, we try and be the only daily ham radio podcast that gives you news and information, as well as current propagation, as well as forecasting, as well as something ham radio related. We also try and do test questions to help people. All we do is ask you to subscribe. I don't monetize this channel. There's no commercials here. Please subscribe. It helps people find it who might just have an interest in amateur radio and like to get their license. We'll close with a good sign off from San Francisco. This is from actually station licensed to Oakland, KTVU, Oakland, San Francisco. This is Channel 2 station there in the Bay Area. I want to thank you for watching today. I mean that sincerely. Robert, thank you for making my day special. To all of you, God bless you around the world. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Live. Do my very best to see you tomorrow at 1900 UTC. Until then, goodbye, everybody.
This is Channel 2, KTVU, Oakland, San Francisco. KTVU is operated by San Francisco Oakland Television and owned by Miami Valley Broadcasting Corporation. KTVU has studios and offices at Jack London Square in the Port of Oakland. Our transmitter is located on Mount Sutro in San Francisco. KTVU operates on Channel 2 by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. Portions of our programming were recorded and filmed. Better services to the community. This is the policy of KTVU as a subscriber to the television code of the National Association of Broadcasters. Remember, you see better television on KTVU, a television code station.